Hello, and thank you for joining us for Changer Chats. I'm Grant Venable, Director of Change at Be the Change Volunteers. Today, we have one of our most treasured community partners joining us once more to discuss her business, Amazonia Expeditions, the service organization she started called Angels of the Amazon, and how her business makes possible all the progress in the partnership with Be the Change Volunteers. All of this is done in the remote Amazon jungle of Peru. Now, listeners, you may have heard some of this story before, but today we are unveiling what lies ahead for changers who are ready to travel and serve in Peru in the near future in 2024 and beyond. Ladies and gentlemen, the jungle's daughter, the Amazon Wonder Woman, Dolly Beaver, welcome to Changer Chats.
Hi, Grant. It's a pleasure to be here, joining you in Changer Chat from the Amazon.
That's right. You are actually in the Amazon jungle right now. And thanks to Starlink, we have this awesome connection that we've never had before.
Yes. It has been wonderful to be able to do this. It's amazing, actually. I'm very happy.
Yeah, me too, Dolly. I want to recap. You and I have been working together since 2013. So for over a decade, you sent an application that you supported through the Chino Village School, which is now the Jane Gordon Cook School, which is a BTCV partner school and what we consider a legacy campus. The entire secondary and primary campus was completed over the last decade, completing the last classroom this year, in fact. And that's been done with support from the Willett family, the Plower family, the Downey family, and of course the Cook family. And we had a special project from Rotary International. All of this, I tallied this up, Dolly, all of this was done with 268 traveling volunteers annually on two separate teams, and they worked alongside the local Chino community who fully bought into the school, and those families have donated hundreds of hours cumulatively each year to help build an entire school campus for future generations. So, Dolly, I want to talk about how we got from an empty open field cut into the Amazon jungle to what is now a total campus solution. First, though, I want to talk about what actually made it possible, and that is a business. You and Paul have a small business, and it creates jobs for the local community, but it also connects people who are travelers to the Amazon jungle. And so this is also, I will just plug your business because Rachel and I, my wife, we know what a great and very comfortable eco-travel adventure you provide. But tell us about Amazonia Expeditions a bit, please.
Yes, our business, Amazonia Expeditions, is for profit. Paul started in 1981 as a camping company, and over the years, after we got married, we continue working to create that eco-tourism lodge where we can bring our visitors, either if they're interested in just to explore nature, conservation aspects, culture, education for their kids, or schools that come over, being responsible travelers and encouraging and visiting places that are sustainable for this type of business, such as tourism. And we started here, just like I said, many years ago, camping in the forest, enjoying what we call raw tourism. These days, we have a beautiful facility. Over the years, we improve with the quality of what we call, a lot of people call glamping. I would say it's luxurious from our humble beginnings. We have all the accommodations that anybody could need because we don't sell a infrastructure. We sell a experience, and an experience that is going to give people that come and visit an unforgettable life adventure. They will never forget, not just because of the site, but its population, people that makes it so special, and the services that we provide. We strive to be the best, high standards, from the food that we provide to now we have fans, we have, nice warm water. I would say it's only improving with solar panels, with Starlink, and just improving in that sense our services. So we employ about 60 people, about 45 permanent and part-time. And the busier season, we employ more people from the communities, actually. We also have created permanent employees that we train and we educate and become guides and find employment here. Men and women to work together and also protect the area that we work in. We're the ambassadors to show very proudly to visitors what the Amazon rainforest has to offer. And along that, of course, we have learned and known the people in the communities and integrated our business to also teach people about the culture and also have the locals understand why people come here and be supportive of conservation. And at the end, all together, we create and continue being a whole ecosystem, helping each other.
Dolly, it is absolutely an amazing experience to travel both on a service project with BTCV to the lodge, but I've also traveled, Rachel and I traveled for her 40th birthday as tourists. I actually contacted you guys and said, hey, I don't want to come for work. I want to bring my wife and we want to come as tourists. We want to have that experience, which was wonderful. When we got off the plane, whether you're with BTCV or coming as a tourist, you know, your staff is there to greet people. So there's no gap in service from the time you get off the plane and walk into the get baggage claim area. Your staff is there to help people all the way from the airport to the lodge office where we do formal check-in, onto the boat, onto the lodge. When we arrive at the lodge, there's a staff member there with welcome drinks. We can see that there's a professional chef and kitchen staff that put on a wonderful, delicious buffet of food that we're familiar with and some new items every day. Then we go to our rooms, which, you know, most of the places I travel don't have real mattresses, but you guys have real mattresses, real pillows, white sheets. It is very comfortable. It's like something out of a magazine. That's how I always describe it to people. So I know that you started it with humble beginnings, camping in the jungle, and now you've got these beautiful cabins that you have set up for travelers. The business has done so much for the community in terms of local economy and just the investment that you make in people and the training that you give to your staff. You guys truly care about the success of your staff members. The business has allowed you to do an expansion in the nonprofit sector, and you branched off Angels of the Amazon. So just tell everybody about when you started Angels of the Amazon, and it's really almost another full-time job for you, but tell us about the mission of AOA and what that organization does.
When we started working here in the jungle with Amazon Expeditions, I started getting to know my neighbors, especially interacting with a lot of mothers, women, visiting the schools and getting to know the children as well. I started here getting the women's visit to the lodge, telling me about their issues, about family dynamics. And it was very hard because in Peru, we still have in some areas the macho society. The women always to stay home and do, you know, chores in the house. And we all know that it's so important as a woman now these days to be independent. But back then, they all had issues. And so we started talking and working in ways and saying, what can I do? I mean, I'm also a woman here, and I just felt like there must be something that we can do. So we started developing a relationship and learning about what their needs are, real needs that we call, you know, maybe simple for others, but not for them here. So when I got to know them better, we talk about it, doing, you know, certain work for the lodge and giving employment to some of the people, but it wasn't enough because the women were involved. It was mostly for men. Then little by little, we start talking about doing some arts and crafts for our guests that come and visit. After that, working together and doing that, I used to listen about their concerns about education, which became a main initiative in our programs of Angels of the Amazon, which was a bigger concern for me than just providing employment here to the adults. It was the next generation that was coming out of school with really no degree in high school, just elementary school. And then that started for me, seeing girls being young and trying to get to high school, and there is no money. There is no means to afford to send them somewhere else because we didn't have a high school. That's when I started. We didn't even have a certification from the government. The teachers come from the government, from the city of Iquitos. The government makes education mandatory, but yet it's very limited for infrastructure. So we didn't have infrastructures. At the time, we didn't have teachers of high school. I started working with the leaders and the parents to lobby for certification by the government to create a high school in Chino. And that was the first step. We had some parents that already had children that wanted so badly a high school that they signed up and registered to become the first high school students because they wanted the government to give them the certification and send the teachers. We started with adults that were parents and had children already, our high school. We had teachers, but we didn't have infrastructure. And that's when Be the Change, came and did their inspection trip in 2013 and saw the needs. When we took them to school, they couldn't believe what they saw. And then also took them to the site where we had hopes and dreams to build a school that is going to be for high school. So Be the Change believe that education, it's a human right, as we did, and we started working from there to create this partnership that elevated the standards of the community itself as right now. Not just for the community of El Chino, but we have students that also are attending a school here adjacent to Chino, the communities that are nearby. Many of our students that have graduated from different schools, from different communities, that came to now Jane Gordon Cook High School and campus are longer gone. They are already in the cities, some of them with employment, some of them are still attending school. And the parents had an opportunity to send their kids to a school that is near home. And that was an issue for the parents. Many of them couldn't send them because they were 12, 13, starting the first year of high school. They were very young. And once we decided that we will have a high school and we're going to work together, the parents bought in because they knew that this was necessary. To this day, they are very happy and very proud to see their kids graduating from high school. It's for them, that's a dream, because many of these parents here only have third grade elementary, fifth grade elementary, sixth grade elementary. Very few have, in fact, sixth grade elementary school. And to see something like my kid is graduating from high school, they really, really feel this is their dream come true. And even better now that after they finish here, they're eager to come into the city to get more education. And it's all due to the fact that we have an infrastructure, a bridge that connects the school. It's like the future for them become a reality. It's a dream become a reality, thanks to the partnership with Be the Change, with all the volunteers that come here and do an amazing job. And really, they give their hearts to the mission. They give their hearts and their all. When we have a project, they work very hard. Sun or rain, they work very hard. And we all appreciate. We work with the community. The government recognizes about the community. They recognize that this is an amazing school for being in the middle of the jungle. The infrastructure that they see, it's incredible. The parents take care as they clean and keep maintenance. They have the kids also taking care more and more about their surrounding areas. And the partnership that we developed many years ago have become an amazing impact for the families in Chino, that whenever they see the volunteers that come and they recognize their faces, they just feel like there is a family, a relative that is coming to see us again and is going to work with us. They just love it. They're very, very touched, and they come to work with them because it's almost like they are coming to work with their families. And it's wonderful to see. If you want to experience something like that and connect with authentic and genuine friendship, they're not worried about what you can give them, immediate reward. They just want you to be in their community, have a good experience, work with them, share their hopes and dreams, and they're very grateful, when you come and share with them work. They're very happy and always tell me that they're always going to be grateful. They are grateful, and they can never forget the work of each volunteer that come and do. So we're very grateful for all of the volunteers that you said the numbers, 200 plus.
268 volunteers.
Wow, that's amazing. That's amazing. Wow, I wanna thank to each of them for putting their time and efforts, and also their means to come all the way here and serve in our community. You're serving not just students, you're serving an entire community that I have to say that have changed their future for the better. Some of them are working somewhere else. Some of them got a degree already, and they never lost hope. When they felt that they had the support of people that are not even their families, coming and showing their love and their dedication to the work, the project, they feel encouraged to continue going to school and doing better. And I think that is priceless. If you ask me, that is something that it doesn't describe by the amounts of money. It's just an incredible thing, because their future now is better. And because of that, their families are going to be better. And then the entire future generations in their lives. So, yeah.
Yeah, that's a perfect full circle picture of what we've been able to achieve as Be the Change Volunteers partnering with Angels of the Amazon. And just even going back to what you said about 2013, that initial evaluation. Of course, I want our audience to know that there's a wide brush of things that Angels of the Amazon does: health clinics and other education support clinics, women's initiative for the arts and crafts. But education is where we're partnered up. And in 2013, when we did that initial site evaluation, a lot of times communities come to us and they will say in their application, if we just had 4 walls and a roof, that would solve the problem. But I saw, and I know my co-evaluator saw, what we really needed to see. And that was that you had helped organize and the community had taken the initiative to start a school. And you guys started it in basically a communal hut, just a community building. You did the footwork, you did the people work, you got the government to bring teachers in and teach in that community. Because when a community only has up to 6th grade education, where do you find a 7th grade teacher 4 hours into the Amazon jungle? You can't. You've got to bring them in. And those evaluations, we continued those evaluations throughout the years to identify what the next best steps were. We knew we had a master plan, but the master plan is almost like a puzzle with the pieces separated out, and you put it together slowly over time so that you do it correctly. And that's where we're able to add some of that extra infrastructure, like the teacher housing, which allows the teachers to come from the city of Iquitos 4 hours away and stay in the community during the term that they're teaching. But the evaluation also tells us, what the other underlying issues in the community are. And one of the things that we were able to identify most recently was that it wasn't necessarily infrastructure, it was personnel and personality. And that's a more difficult one because it's very sensitive. And really what BTCV was able to do alongside AOA was just facilitate those conversations, and having those conversations began to sort out the personality and the personnel problems that I don't think we would have ever found by just laying brick and mortar. Without sharing the details of it, what have the outcomes of the community coming together and having those conversations been in terms of really harmony that we're moving towards?
Well, the community has issues as any other city, has their politics.
Right.
As you mentioned, it's not just about the walls and the ceiling, as we all know. It's about the issues that we have with personnel that comes from elsewhere, the government sense. And the community now has put in place a new PTA president and directory of people. Like the vice president is new, the president of PTA is new, they have a secretary, everything, they change, everyone. Also, they had achieved from the principal of the school to be more conscious about the attendance of his own personnel and himself, because the parent, the new PTA, is reinforcing the rules that the representative of the Ministry of Education has informed to them. Now they're reinforcing that.
You know, I think about my own role and how much my board of directors and my advisory council invests in me each year. We do an annual review. And so there's a lot of talking and meeting and constructive criticism that, you have to accept as a leader or as an employee. And I would say that most people don't realize those discussions are happening. And in some cases, those discussions aren't happening when they should be happening. But it's really, I point this out because BTCV has these evaluation processes that we go through on a regular basis with our partners. And we're not always looking for how many more buildings we need. We're kind of doing a personnel check, talking to the parents, like, how are you feeling? Like, do you feel like your PTA is effective? And we don't necessarily say, well, you need to shuffle your PTA. Just through having those conversations, they identify within themselves what needs to be done, what will improve. When they ask themselves the question, that's when they start to say, yeah, we could do this people process, I'll call it, better. And that's one of the things that we've learned in Peru, that we didn't necessarily know we were doing, but we've started to really lean into in other locations. So it's really thanks to the work that we've done in Peru that's come about. So Dolly, the school, the school.
Sorry, I just have to laugh and say this, that so we became again the guinea pigs.
Yes. But you're our flagship guinea pigs. You're our flagship guinea pigs.
That's good.
So we've learned so much in Peru that's helped us to be better in all the places that we work. Dolly, we are going to wrap up the planned work in Chino by 2026. That's our plan right now. We're going to finish this year classroom number 3 of the primary school, and that will complete the total campus plan classroom and infrastructure that we have. And then moving forward, we're going to do additional teacher housing projects, a water project to support the teacher housing. All of those things are on the docket. And I encourage anybody listening, if you're considering traveling with Be the Change volunteers, or if you're a traveler who picked up this podcast and you want to become a changer, Peru is an excellent place to start. We have spots on the team coming up in September. But Dolly, talk about the best way for us to conclude the work that we're doing in Chino, and not necessarily say that we'll never be back or we're leaving that behind, because it's very possible that we'll be doing additional projects further down the road in Chino. But talk about some of the best practices culturally when we do that, when we conclude a long-term project like this one's been.
I think the best way to do is to continue open the doors as a partner that comes and like you said, come from time to time to see how we're doing in the school. We are not just volunteers coming to serve, but they consider us as part of the community. In fact, Be the Change has everywhere signs and the t-shirts, their names, that even the little ones know Be the Change. It's just like you are basically, you have a symbiotic relationship with the community. You are part of the community. And the best thing to do is, come and see how they're doing on time to time. Like you said, like you were saying, you do in other places, to let them know that they still have your support, if moral support, if you will. Because even when these conversations about how difficult it is to run something like this, or work with different personnel, they feel that they have the support that they didn't think they have from an organization that they respect or people they respect. And I think that gave them the courage to do some things that they were slow, taking their time to figure out how to do it.
Yeah, and I hope we've
And
developed trust, really.
they trust, they don't think these are people who are outsiders coming to our community, because they remind me one time, they said we gave the key to the to Jimmy Cook of our community. He is welcome here anytime. He's our friend. He's like our family. All of them are Be the Change. It's like our family when they come back. They don't behave with fake friendship. They don't behave like maybe putting a show. They are authentic people as they are. Be the Change, see as they are. And that is unique. We can go to their home at any time. They welcome us. We don't do it because we're busy working, but we could, if anybody wished to go, they open their doors. There's nothing that they would say no. And so with the leaders of the community, they understand that this is a partnership, it's in a relationship. So I think continuing, like you said, the conversation open also, and the once and I think we finished, if you come back and say, I want to go and visit, they will never say, no, you finish and you're gone. No, that's not it. And there is also a need in other locations, as we were discussing, and there's other communities that could also benefit from Be the Change goodwill. And
yeah, one of the things
our neighbors.
One of the things that I'm excited about for 2024, especially, there is another community, Esperanza. And one of the things that Esperanza is going to do is they're going to send community representatives from that village to Chino to volunteer alongside the locals in Chino and the Be the Change volunteers travelers that will be there, so that they can actually see and experience what this means. Because as you know, back in 2014, when we broke ground, man, it's different. There were people standing around wondering, who are these people? What are they doing? They knew that we were building a school, but like, are they really here? Like, is this what they're here for? And then over the years, we developed that trust. And so I'm excited that the people in Esperanza will be able to experience it firsthand as it is in process, as it's really happening. And it's not going to be radically new. It'll be radically different to them, but they'll have a better opportunity to see what it is and experience what it is before we break ground in that community as well. I'm excited about that.
Yeah, in fact, they're excited too, because I was there a couple of weeks ago. We had a meeting with the new principal, with the teachers, with the PTA. The PTA told me, I have my people ready to go. You all you need to do is give me dates and we'll go. And I told them, that's great. I will when the time comes, because they want to leave their families prepared. You have to remember that here they fish and they go to the farm on a daily basis, because very few have a refrigerator, or if that, one person or two in the entire village. So they have to go on a daily basis to find food. So they told me that when that happens and we have to go for several days, we want to just leave everything prepared for our families, so they don't have to worry about the food every day. So I think they're committed to it, and they want to go and experience. They want to come and experience the work. And also they said, we're going to make friends before they come to our community. And they even told me, and we're going to work so hard that they're going to want to come back. And I told them, like, okay, we will see that. Because now there is a challenge, I'm going to work harder than the people in this community. And now, they're going to like my community more. And I told them, I think we'll see. And I think that is just putting themselves in that commitment that they will give their all to whatever the project is, if it takes for them to come and work with the Be the Change.
Yeah, I am excited about this culture of volunteerism that I hope, and I know you hope, will spring up and grow because of all the investment that's been made, both if there's a financial investment, but man, there's a huge energy and time and trust investment that's been made. So I'm really excited about it. I'm hopeful that we see our friends from Chino Village make the journey to some of these other communities as we begin to serve in these other communities. But the future is bright, Dolly. Dolly, as we wrap up, do you have anything in closing that you want to say to encourage people to take that step and travel outside of their comfort zone to do something amazing with Amazonia Expeditions, Angels of the Amazon, or Be the Change volunteers?
Of course, I invite every volunteer, everyone who's listening, this Changer Chat, to come and experience what it is to serve in a remote part of the world, if I can say that, in Peru, in the middle of the Amazon, far away from everything that is civilization. We are communities that is considered rural areas, but the people that you will meet here are very, very grateful, very hardworking people, charming in their way of welcoming people in their community. Also, the experience that the people that volunteer get, it's incredible because they're not just coming and working along with the volunteers or the community that comes and works. They're also working for the future, the generations that is the one who is going to lead the world. Some of them have big dreams, and education is the only way out of poverty. Education is the only way that they can really dream for a big and prosperous future for them and their families. And it's happening. It's happening with the graduates that we already had in the past. They're going somewhere else and studying or becoming better in what they do. Let's say a simple, maybe 3 or 4 years of education. They earn a living, a decent living. It's good for conservation. It's sustainable if they go to school here versus going in the city, where they disconnect from their parents sometimes. And togetherness and family and love and in a family, it's always been in Peru very important, especially in the rural areas, very important. So if they were going somewhere else when they are young, they disconnect. And now that we have the high school here, we don't have to do that. And giving hope to the young generation that their future is brighter. I think it's a good feeling when you know that what you're doing with your time and in a lifetime, I say, is going to be productive. It's an investment for the future generation, no matter where they are. But we are creating a better world together. And that's a good feeling. And that makes you smile that all of these kids that you see one day will grow up to be good human beings. And they will be back in one way or another because they are getting something that benefits them.
Thank you so much for those words and for all the kind words about Be the Change volunteers. I am just so blessed to know you. I've learned so much from you and from Paul. It's made me a better leader. It's made me a better guide for our teams. And just so many ways you guys have helped us improve our organization, and you've created excellent and awesome opportunities for volunteers to serve in such a remote and unique location and in such a special way. So just thank you so much for all of that. And we are so glad that you shared your story with us today.
Thank you, Grant. And anytime we're here to do any service that you guys will bring the greater good to any of our communities or anywhere else. Thank you so much for your time and for your consideration. And I'm looking forward to Happy the Change in June. Here, I will be here and I will be working with them.
Thank you, Dolly. If you like Changer Chats and you'd like to hear more of them, show us with your financial support at www.btcv.us. If you're ready to travel to a remote location like Peru and be the change, check us out online and learn more about global projects for 2024 and 2025. Thank you, and be the change.